we don't have a problem with a coalition government. We think it's the most workable solution to political arrogancy and sins of the incumbents. Because when you are in a coalition, you know you don't have absolute majority, because absolute majority corrupt absolutely. So it's important that you always try to make sure that you stay within the agreements that are reached within a coalition. And it doesn't matter what's going to happen on the 29th of May. There's no way the ANC is going to get a majority in Gauteng. And we are prepared to talk to them, talk to the IFP, talk to everyone, and including the DA. We want to prioritize the citizens more than our ideological differences. But also, we know an inclusion of the EFF in a coalition comes with a huge opportune moment for us to gain some experiences, but in a practical way also display to the people of South Africa what we are capable of doing. So I think that this below 50% and without any outright winner, EFF stands a good chance to participate in decision making. And I was making some silly example that if you were to make me deputy president or minister of sports, arts and culture, in the group of all those ANC people, there's no one who can outshine me. As a minister of sports, arts and culture, I can be looked at as a president. People can be looking for water and say, "Bring Malema here," and I'm a minister of sports, arts and culture. Because we'll perform in such a way that our people will long for our immediate takeover of the state. We've never worked with the DA, so this is how we brought down the ANC. We firstly had to remove them from power because they were using the state resources to cling to power. So we shifted the pace in 2016 and did not work with the DA. We said, well, we don't want, as long as the ANC has got no control and access to the purse, that is the only strength they have, because they no longer have a message, they no longer have a face. So we did that, and it paid in 2019, where we dropped them to 57% and dropped the Gauteng province to 49.9%. So they are leading with one member. They are not leading because percentage-wise they've got a majority. Before that, to show that these things have got thugger in them, Paul Mashatile came to meet us in one of the hotels here in Johannesburg, asked to see us, were to come down, meet, and said, guys, we've lost Gauteng as the ANC, we're prepared to work with you. What are the conditions? As we're engaging, telephone call came, and then he went outside, and then he came back and said, no, we're fine, we no longer need you. They say we've won. But if you guys want to sleep here, you can sleep here, order anything you want to order. And then left us there. So, and then it went 49.9, and that's where we knew this is rigging. Because riggings happen like that. Why did Paul say he lost? They had ANC internal results, because the good thing with the ANC is that there's got party agents everywhere. So the results came internally before they were announced by IEC that they've lost. So they were now preparing for the IEC announcement. Hence, the emphasis now on party agents. Because we need to guard every vote, including a vote that is not EFF, as long as it's anti-ANC. Because ANC wins with stealing small here. And then they give it to themselves, and that's how they get 49.9. Who wins with 49.9? Rigging happens like that. So we never had a relationship like that with the DA. So we gave it to them. And then we if you remember, we said we don't want Mashaba as a way of trying to push back the DA because it needed us desperately. They pushed back. When they pushed back, we said, we're about to lose this strategy. Let's concede Mashaba. They put Mashaba in. And when they put Mashaba in, we became the good government ourselves of Johannesburg without being inside. Mashaba takes a platform here, like I'm doing now, says, I have insourced the security guards in Johannesburg. No one asked Mashaba using which policy, because when you were a mayor, you were a DA mayor, and the DA never had that policy of insourcing security guards. Which security? He insourced security guards in exchange of the EFF passing the budget. Those were the conditions. We said we won't pass this budget unless we insource the workers. He agreed to insource the workers, and that's how the budget was passed. If this is Mashaba's policy, ask him in 2016 when he was implementing it, in which page are we finding this part of the policy of the DA that speaks about insourcing? So a person lies to you, not so intellectually gifted individual, the lowest in thinking amongst politicians, even Gayton is bad. Because 26 or 28, the lowest in political thinking, right? Lies to you. You don't ask him a simple thing. Where do we find that in the DA policy? Because you are lying. And that condition was made public, Budali, that we will not pass this budget. And if we don't pass this budget, this municipality is going to collapse. The ANC is going to take it over through administration unless you insource the workers. He insourced the workers. What happened? Everywhere else where we had influence, we're telling them what to do. Boom! 2019 comes. They don't perform well. Helen Zille says, no, man. The problem is Musi, who allowed this EFF to work with us. Now we have declined support because the white racists are not happy with this relationship. That's why the white racists shifted to vote for Freedom Front. Huh? It's a recent history. You see, it's getting distorted now when we're still alive. Imagine what's going to happen. So, that's what happened, and that's what led to this kind of animosity we have. Because the TA says, whatever happens, don't go close to the EFF, because the EFF is going to make you lose support from our white racists. And we didn't mind that, because we always knew what we were doing, and we achieved it. If we had not put the DA in 2016, and the ANC comes with Cyril Ramaphosa, who was loved by you, and the ANC has access to resources, Cyril will have gotten 2/3 majority. What killed the ANC is that it lost the purse of the metros. Remember, in 2016, just before the elections, there were billboards of the ANC in the whole of Johannesburg. When we went to investigate, Johannesburg municipality issued a tender to advertise its 5 years achievements. Then bought 100 billboards, only used 20 for that purpose, and then 80 for the ANC. But on paper is billboard adverts for the municipality. That we took away. So that then helped us to upset the situation in 2019 and subsequently 2021. And the good thing with the ANC is that when it loses, it never recovers. Now, in 2016, they lose Johannesburg, they lose Tshwane, they maintain Ekurhuleni. In 2021, just to demonstrate to you that the ANC, where it loses, it doesn't recover. In 2021, it loses even Ekurhuleni, which was their base. So that's what happens. And I can tell you now, the ANC will never recover. It's got no such history. Take Western Cape as an example, if you don't want to take Ekurhuleni and Gauteng as an example. They ruled Western Cape, they declined. They ruled KZN now. There is no chance of coming back. IFP, we can work with them. My problem is that the ANC in Gauteng, if it gets 47% and the IFP gets 3% or 4%, and the EFF gets 12%, 15%, they are going to prefer the IFP more than the EFF. So we need a situation where the ANC, we need Ekurhuleni situation, where the ANC and the EFF combined, they can form a government without a small party. that the ANC, for it to form a government with the small parties, it will still need the EFF. Then there's going to be nice discussions. Because the ANC without power is not an arrogant ANC. Look at how, so now we're done with the DA. Then we go to Ekurhuleni to deal with the ANC. We say, look guys, this gives us an opportunity. We may not agree on conditions and all of that, but we can have an opportunity to participate in government, speed up service delivery, but also demonstrate to South Africans what we can do. We go into Ekurhuleni under those conditions. We perform so well, so much that the ANC branches then go to the ANC leadership and say, no, if you keep these people in power, it's the end of the ANC. We didn't do anything. We just worked hard. You report about a blocked sewer, we say to you, give us 24 hours, it will be resolved. You tell us this, give us 24 hours, it will be resolved. The EFF was hard at work. No one has ever asked the ANC, why did you remove the mayor of the small parties and then the EFF and all of that? Because they can't give you an answer. Like the DA, they were saying, these people are outshining us. That's why I tell you, make me Minister of Sports and see what's going to happen. Make me Minister of Sports. If I'm a problem, make me Minister of Sports, see what's going to happen. That's how we work in the EFF. That's how we build this party from nothing, from zero budget to where it is now. Because all we do is to work hard. And I've made that personal commitment with myself that I need to work hard as an individual. And nothing must come to me for free. I grew up in other people's houses. We didn't have food at home. But I never ate food of that home for free. After we were given food, I was the one who was working hard to demonstrate my appreciation of what I was given. I never asked for free things anyway. So, and that's a culture we are inculcating in the EFF. That people must work hard. Must not be a home of lazy people who are obsessed with positions. After we give them positions, they have no idea what they are talking about except to celebrate blue lights. So the ANC can make U-turn if it wants. It's their own thing. We are not going to sign any paper with any coalitions. We are not in a relationship of signing papers. We are in a relationship of improving the lives of our people. So the doomsayers coalition, you must tell them that the doomsayers coalition is the one that went to remove rubbish bins in Tembisa after collapsing the government of DA in Ekurhuleni. The people of Tembisa started seeing those trucks of removing rubbish bins. First time after the EFF went in. And I'm answering these two questions at the same time. When you say to me, what is this coalition going to do? Go to Ekurhuleni. 2, why do you want to make Floyd finance minister because you want to steal? I'm a finance minister in Ekurhuleni. What did I steal? It's more than a year now. What did I steal? Even in the removal of the EFF in that government, no one could accuse EFF of laziness and corruption. No one, not a single one. So the only accusation we got was that we lost 2-point-something billion in revenue. And that was necessitated by the fact that there was a meter system that was supposed to be installed, and there were civic organizations that had problems, and there was 2 from court. But when we went back now into the Ministry of Finance, MMC of Finance, we agreed we need to recover that money, because the good thing with electricity is that you can go back, we can go as far as 5 years ago. So that money is still recoverable, and we told the MMC of Finance, whatever you do, you must recover that money. But we still got a good audit. Then our audit was subjected to all types. What's the name of the audit? Unqualified. People who didn't know what is unqualified audit, they just had unqualified, but it didn't pass. That's when the DA's domcopism came in. It didn't pass. Unqualified. Then we went through to educate patiently. Or this is what it means. There was no disclaimer against the EFF. Nothing. We have done it in Ikuruleni. In the finance. We can do it in South Africa. We have never stolen any cent anywhere, including in the VBS. I said when I did an interview with JJ that who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just some guy from Sishiu, a child of a domestic worker with no power, nothing. If I'd stolen, why are these people that I'm troubling so much not arresting me? But I don't give them sleep. Come. Why are you not arresting this guy? Batoi took a Pala case from a prosecutor. Took it away. Till today, they don't know where the docket is. And then Batoi says to them, charge Malema with that issue of Limpopo of On Point. I'm like, you can do it. I must be charged with something they allege I've done. So many years back, there was a decision by the NPA, by the way. Matter was struck off the roll. Then the decision was taken to charge again. When they announced the charging, they said, Malema is not part of the people that were charging. We'll see when the case goes on. It was not my decision. The mistake they did, they included a deceased person as one of the people who must be charged. That's a state that is not organized. They didn't know that they issued a death certificate for that guy. Still proceeded to charge him in the grave. Then they were left with the egg on their face, embarrassed. They retreated from that case. Now Batoi says, go in. They're like, but with what? There's a big internal battle of charging Malema. Because they say, for what? How do we explain the earlier decision where we said we're not charging him? What new has emerged? But Ramaphosa, with the docket that was raised in an open meeting where the Financial Intelligence Center was presenting to NPA, the prosecutor who was prosecuting Ramaphosa's case stood up and said, I've got this Pala case. How can you help me as Financial Intelligence Center? He didn't finish the sentence, but he stood up and said, no, can't talk about that yet. Bring those things here. No, not yet. Till today. So, they can't say to us, Floyd can be a minister of finance when the current minister of finance was accused of stealing workers' money. The current one. And Ogari apologized. So he got removed from a position because of that accusation. A lesser position because he was accused of stealing money from the workers. He got removed and then he came back top position without any clarity, having accepted that he stole that money. So Floyd has not stolen any money. Only illiterates can reject the young intelligentsia. The man is gifted. He knows these things. By his head, he can tell you every little cent, where it is being spent, by who, where, how. He leaves those things. He tells you about every single South African company, who's the CEO, how much does it make, how much money does it pay for taxes, without reading anything. You've got a man who understands the economy of South Africa and the continent and the world at large. A well-grounded Marxist-Leninist, highly qualified, is now going for his third master's. Next week he's going to collect his third master's in London. Not in some Tibet college there in Sishiu, in London. Then he must be compared with Athol Trollip, whose only charm to the people is not ideas, is speaking Xhosa. That's why he was not saying anything in that debate. He just Xhosa and then says a lot of hot air and then Xhosa. Since when should people be elected on the basis of language? If black people must vote for a person because he's speaking Xhosa, whites must vote for us because we're speaking English. We must exchange the votes then. So I think I've dealt with that. Load shedding still exists. That's why they say to you, I don't know why you're celebrating 24 day. Load shedding exists. They say to you, load shedding remains suspended. They don't say we're done with load shedding. Load shedding remains suspended. They never said to you, there's no load shedding. It's there. They are doing what they were doing during the Rugby World Cup. They are holding it there. And to the detriment of the grid. I can tell you, 29 May, we're going after voting. When the